Okay, this is what I've seen in the news thus far. Russian warships have been threatening Ukraine, according to the news. Now, I don't believe in the mainstream news anymore, now that I know the truth that six major corporations buy and control everything we see in the news, especially the mainstream news. So I take this with a grain of salt. Feel free to draw your own conclusions and let me know in the comment section what you think.
We've seen CNN reporters this evening spread across the country in Ukraine, often very close to where fighting has been occurring or with those trying to survive. There's one story that's happened in the south of the country I want to bring you now. CNN's international security editor, Nick Payton-Walsh, is in Kherson. Nick, there's a recording between Ukrainian and Russian forces that occurred. What happened?
Yeah, it's a really sort of dark episode which was cast by the Ukrainian President Zelensky as a moment of heroism. Snake Island off the coast of Odessa, where we were yesterday, where we heard explosions at dawn in the distance, and they persisted intermittently throughout the morning. Always hard to know exactly what was being hit. Some of them were ferocious, so we could hear their impact from miles away. And Snake Island is off the coast of Odessa, some distance in fact, and appears to have been attacked by a Russian warship. And on it, the population is basically just Ukrainian soldiers defending it. Here's the intercept of the conversation between them and the Russian forces that approached them. Now that is the end of the recording, and it is most likely, and we can't confirm it independently, that the Russian warship made good on its threat to destroy that island. Part of the extensive efforts we saw yesterday by the Russian military to attack Ukraine's defences along the Black Sea coast. That's a vital part of Ukraine's economy and infrastructure, and it seems Snake Island bore the brunt of that. Anderson?
What's the latest you've been seeing in the region?
Yeah, look, we are in a key town, Kherson, on the way up from Crimea. That's for 8 years been illegally held by Russia, and their forces have been trying to move up. We heard intensive fighting to the east of this town when we came in last night, and that was centered around a key bridge that goes from the sort of the Russian-held side of the river Dnieper over to this side still held by Ukrainian forces. It seemed like the Russians had in fact moved over that bridge yesterday, and we don't quite know what they did. There were suggestions they may have peeled off past the town. We heard small arms fire in the town on its outskirts during the night, and there were persistent low-flying jets that sort of swooped in, buzzing the town. Unclear whose they were. They're more likely, I'd have to say, given the frequency, Russians. We heard some distant airstrikes too, and just this morning there was another low-flying jet that came in too. So clearly fighting continues for this key river, and that essentially, I think many argue, might be about defining the future borders of whatever we see down the line here. The Dnieper River runs straight up through Kiev, defining the east where separatist territories are, separating Crimea, already held by Russia, and up through Kiev where the fighting is at the moment. So if the Russian ambition here is not for all of Ukraine, this Dnieper River and the bridges across it that we're seeing the intense fighting for here are absolutely key, Anderson.
All right, Nick Payton-Walsh in Kherson, Ukraine. Thanks to you and your team. Be careful.